Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM Marketing Network Lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. For those people that might be unfamiliar with my voice, my name is Peter Mingils. We started this radio show a long time ago because I wanted to have a platform where we can talk about really cool things, and I didn't have to worry about clearing it with anybody. I wanted to be able to actually own our own platform, give microphones to whoever I want to give them to, because they're really good people. There's a lot of cool things that happen in the home-based business arena that you may not know about. So we wanted to be able to share those experiences. Well, a long time ago, for those people that might be unfamiliar with this, I was doing a radio show with Doris Wood, who ran the MLMIA, stood for the Multi-Level Marketing International Association. And Doris and I were doing some radio shows, and Janine Avila was jumping in as a guest host. And it was really kind of cool because I did not know who Janine Avila was at that time. But as she was talking and we were going back and forth, I found myself nodding my head up and down a lot, like up and down is an agreement as opposed to left to right in disbelief. So I was like, wow, she's really great at this. And we were having a lot of fun. And then Janine started to do whatever she was doing as a guest speaker. She was just there for a couple of episodes. And recently, last year, she called me back and she says, I'm back. Can we do some more radio shows? And I said, absolutely. She's smart. She works hard. She's ambitious. She's nice. She's fun. And she's a great example of what it's like to really be working from home. So we do this radio show every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and whatever time zone that might be for you. And it's also available on buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine. buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine. She is a really amazing woman, and she has given me besides some really great work from home tips, she's also given us some really great life tips as well that have made a very big difference in my life, meaning some of the technologies that she put us in front of has really added significantly. So many times I'm just saying thank you to Janine, and she doesn't even know it, but she does a great job, and she'll do a great job for you on this radio show as well. So Janine, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. I love doing this show. It seriously is the highlight of my week, because it's a chance to give back and contribute to others. And as Peter knows, my original idea for this show was because as a young single mom back in 1983, I was pretty desperate and didn't know what I was going to do and how I was going to take care of my family when I found myself getting ready to go through a divorce. And I was determined to be a great mom. I didn't have that mapped out for my life to be a divorced single mom, and I was determined not to be a suffering, broke single mom. I wanted to be a great mom, and I wanted to have a great life. And just because my life circumstance changed, I felt like I didn't have to let that change. I was introduced to the industry of direct sales. I got into a little company called Tupperware, and just because I was trying to feed 7 kids as a single mom, like, it's kind of crazy when I think about it. But, you know, I had to buy a lot of football uniforms, and there was a lot of things I had to do, so that's what drove me. And I was really just trying to pay my mortgage and take care of my kids, and it led me to being one of the number one, well, for quite a while in the nation, and that wasn't my goal. But it was a byproduct of what I was doing, because I was so driven and so excited that I could help moms be home with their kids and help put income in the families so that dads could sleep at night if there were 2 parents in the family, and just help supplement with income. So I got into this industry back then, and I did, you know, probably 10 years in Tupperware, and then I was corporate for about 20 years, and I've been on both sides of the industry. And I know so many people that work from home, and whether they're real estate or they have a catering business or whatever they do, but I'm a strong believer and advocate that you got to have some residual income. So I get on this show every Thursday night once in a while I don't, but most, right, Peter? But most of the time I do because I believe in it so much. And back in 2017, when Peter and I started the show, I started a newsletter called Home Base, and it was about being safe at home. And my premise and my whole thought process behind that was about being safe at home financially. And here we are in April of 2020, and everybody's at home. And I've actually been busier than ever with people reaching out to me because they're just frustrated or they're stuck or they don't know how to work from home. And over the last few weeks, if you look at any of the podcasts, we've done a lot of shows on just the practical things like increasing your bandwidth and how to balance home and family and all of these different things, because everybody, like it or not, was home with kids around them and working from home and trying to, some of us were fortunate enough that we were already set up to work from home. So it wasn't a big shift, but for a lot of people it was. So I felt it was important for us to really shift the show and give people the tips and the help they needed. And I had an interesting set of circumstances occur because I'm not so fond of this term, social distancing. And I understand physical distancing, which is what if I had my way, Peter, that's what they would have called it, because we need to keep a physical distance from people. But I don't think it's good to for once in a while it's good to disconnect socially. But in a time of crisis, that's when you need to be able to check on people. And those of us that might be a little stronger than others or a little more experienced need to reach out and help others. And it was just an interesting turn of events that happened for me because I have a friend that lived in Las Vegas, and I had met her through a network marketing company that I was involved with at the time. And we just, when you just meet somebody and you just hit it off, that's how it was with Tammy and I. We just hit it off. And we knew that we were going to be connected no matter what. And so she checks in with me from time to time, and I get a text from her. And so that's the way our relationship has been. And she reached out to me just about, I'm going to say about 3 weeks ago. I was thinking about a company I knew about that I'd been involved with before called Send Out Cards, because I knew the owner, Cody Bateman. I knew his story, and it had really moved my heart. And I love the idea that you could make these custom cards, and from sitting at your desk with creativity and love, you could merge those two things together and really make a difference for somebody. Not just like a Hallmark card, which is nothing wrong with those, but I've had people send out cards where they go get a picture off my Facebook, and I was sharing with Tammy and Jordan that when my father died, I had someone send me a card that they had grabbed off my Facebook, and it just meant a lot to me. So I've been thinking about different ways we could encourage people during this time where there's so much fear and so much just concern about what's going to happen. And I thought, you know what? I need to get a hold of somebody that's in Send Out Cards. And unbeknownst to Tammy, she reached out to me with no agenda. And this is what I love about Tammy. And she was just checking on me. And she asked me what I was doing, and I told her. And then she said, and I told her I was busier than ever with this home-based business, helping people work from home. And I asked her in turn what she was doing. And she told me she had just enrolled in Send Out Cards. And I said, I want to be in that so I can help. I need to send those cards out. I love that system. I believe in Cody Bateman and that company. And I've been to a couple of their events and met a lot of their field leaders, Jordan, Adler included. And and Peter knows this, I won't put my name on anything I don't believe in. And I said, enroll me, because I just want to be able to send cards and encourage people. I actually had a ton of fun today just going through the site and figuring out how to do it. But I had a conference call with Tammy and with Jordan, and it was just a perfect example of how things can work. Tammy just, in a heartfelt act of kindness, true, with no agenda. She wasn't trying to get me in her business. She didn't even ask me to. It was just interesting the way it worked out. So they're on my show tonight, and I'm just thrilled to have them. And I think I'll first go over to Tammy and Tammy, do you just want to share with everybody tonight, our listeners? I don't know how many times you've been on the radio, But we've got a lot of listeners from across the nation, and I know a lot of people are interested in how they can help support other people in their family, just like you did with me.
Okay, can you hear me? Actually, this is my first time on radio.
Well, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Yes, I've been in business for many years, but traditional business. And in my own right, I've been very successful in what I've done. I'm at an age where you can say I've been there, done that, where I've created the brick and mortar businesses, had all the headaches and the responsibilities financially and of employees. And I have set up my traditional businesses where I have set up a great team of people around me. And so therefore I do not have to go into my business every day. And I treat them as family as well as they treat me as family. So we all take care of each other. So I needed something else to do because it's just my personality. But of course, I did not want to go back to the traditional way of business. I did not want to, at this age, to get in over my head financially again, have all of the headaches, all of the regulations that are tied up with a traditional business. So I had been looking around, and one of my really good friends, Cheryl, is an insurance agent, and she has been trying to get me to look at send-out cards, and I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention, and I was busy doing other things. And I finally committed to go with her to a meeting. And when I did that, I started looking at it. And I was thinking, she told me from a business standpoint that she had increased her sales in her insurance business by sending out cards. And all of her business was coming from referrals. So I thought to myself, this is more up my alley than anything else in direct sales, because of my business background and because of the people that I know. And it was almost perfect timing as far as what is happening right now in the world, because I think more people are going to start getting back to the way things used to be done and maybe start adding that personal touch. I think we got to where things were we were so much in a rush, and with technology, everything was at such high speed that I know that I did personally. I forgot about doing some of the simple things that I used to do, and one of those is sending a thank you card or nice meeting you. So I got involved, and I have been having a blast. I have probably in 2 weeks, I think I've sent out about 200 cards, and I'm just having fun with this and very excited and looking forward to what this brings, and an opportunity for me as a businesswoman to be able to help other women, maybe single moms. I was a single mom like Janine, to be able to help them and to guide them and to use my past business experience to be able to mentor them. So I'm looking forward to this and very, very excited about this direct sales and home-based business. And Janine, I thank you for the opportunity to be here. And Peter, thank you too. And Jordan, thank you for joining us and helping us with this too.
Well, Tammy, we're happy to have you here. And a couple of things I want to say is that Tammy is a real smart cookie. She had a Subway at the airport in Phoenix. She's got business entities. I've been in her home. I've seen her business acumen. But the best thing, because I know a lot of people with a lot of big business and all of that, is that Tammy's heartfelt. She really cares about people, and I believe that's why she found her niche in a way to encourage people through an opportunity to send customized cards. And I want to just take off on what you said. In a day and age where we were getting where everybody doesn't send a card anymore and they just want to say happy birthday with a text or, hey, sorry for your loss on Facebook. And that's all fine and well-intentioned, but it's a big difference when you take that extra step and you can really make a difference for people. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm so grateful, Tammy, that I met you. And it was your heart that attracted me to you, and we just had some funny conversations, and here we are. And that led us, when I didn't even know, I knew Jordan Adler, but when I just said to Tammy, I said, just enroll me, because I really want the ability to make those cards and do that. I think that's a phenomenal thing to do for people, especially right now. People need encouragement. They need joy. There's so much fear. There's so much bad news. And when she told me, and I was enrolling, and I said, who's your sponsor? Do you know? And she said, she told me who it was, Cheryl. And she said, Jordan Adler is her sponsor. And I said, oh, I know Jordan. So that made it even more fun for me personally. But I was also just really thrilled to be able to have a way to reach out to people during this time in a way that I know matters to people. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have as our guest on the show tonight, Jordan Adler. Jordan, I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you take it away.
Hi. Thank you. Hi, Janine. And what a great meeting of the three of us, the way it all happened. I'm so excited. We were at an event, and we met Janine, and then here we are reconnected again. I think I'll just tell a quick story. You know, there's a guy named Cody Bateman that when he was 21 years old, he's the founder of Send Out Cards, and when he was 21, he had an older brother named Chris who was his best friend. And Cody was married with a little baby, and he had just gotten a job transferred to New Jersey. And he was saying goodbye to his family. They had 11 kids in the family, and his brother was in a pickup truck, and they were in a rush. And he waved to his brother, and he told him, he just kind of waved to him and said goodbye. And he had this real strong prompting to go over to his brother and give him a hug and tell him he loved him, but he ignored it. And they just waved and drove off. Well, 3 months later, his mother called him to tell him that his brother, Chris, his older brother, his best friend, had been killed in an electrical accident at work. And Cody sat in his bedroom looking at this brick wall, just remembering that morning and thinking to himself, I'll never have a chance to hug my brother again, and realized that he ignored that prompting. He didn't act on it. And he decided, at the age of 22 years old, that someday he wanted to start a movement or start a company that would allow people to act on their promptings, if you have something in your heart, if there's a reason, if you think of somebody that there's a way that you could act on that and make a difference in that life, which would also, help you as well in that healing. And so years later, he started a company called Send Out Cards, and just real crazy. I started getting cards in the mail about 15 years ago. I started getting cards in the mail from a guy I didn't know. I didn't know Cody back then. This was just a story that happened back then, and Cody had these ideas and started telling other people about it. And then I started getting cards in the mail from a guy I didn't know, and a couple of the cards had DVDs, and I popped the DVD in and watched it, and it told the story of Send Out Cards, how you could jump on your computer. Back then there was no social media, there were no smartphones, but you could jump on your computer, you could pick a card, type in a personal message, and hit the send button, and the company would print it for you, stuff it in an envelope, seal it, stamp it, and send it, all for about $1. And I thought to myself, my mom taught me to send thank you cards when people did nice things for me. And, when somebody falls ill, it's nice to send them a get well card. And if somebody has a birthday, just things like that. And I thought, I could use this. So I signed up to use it. And the next day I got invited to a networking event. And there were 12 people there. I'd never been to a networking event before. There were 12 people there. This was 15 years ago. And I walk in, and I didn't really have a business at that point. I was between businesses. And so when they got to me, the only thing that I thought about talking about was this idea, this Send Out Cards idea. And so I shared that with the group in 30 seconds. And 6 out of the 12 people afterwards handed me their business card and said I'd be interested in that. And I'd never seen anything where half of a group was interested in something. And so I started meeting with them over the course of the week and signed up all of them. And then I went in and joined that group and continued to network with that group. But just to kind of philosophically, our philosophy is that appreciation wins over self-promotion every time. So most business people, they think about marketing. They think about what can I do to get more business versus how can I focus on giving more. And so our philosophy is all about sending out personal, heartfelt cards to appreciate other people, to encourage other people, which is needed more today than ever before. And our slogan is appreciation you can touch. We're the largest customer of the U.S. Post Office. We send the post office about $30,000 a day for postage, just to give you an idea. But got lots of stories. I know I don't want to – I'm going to turn it back to you, Janine, and let you ask any questions that you'd like me to, but I could keep going, of course.
Well, I'll just add one quick story that you probably don't know, Jordan, is that I went to an event years ago and I heard Cody Bateman tell that story. And I did tell Cody this once. And I was leaving in a big hurry once. I lived in California, and I was speaking at the DSA in San Diego, and my brother was in the driveway, and he was waving me down because he wanted to say bye to me, and I almost didn't want to stop because I was late. And I had heard Cody's story, and I didn't forget it. I remember thinking, I better stop. And I did, and I hugged him, and I said goodbye to him. And I later got a call that my brother was kicked in the head by a Clydesdale horse and died on the scene.
No, really?
Yeah, and actually they brought him back to life, and he lived for a while, but then he died. But on my trip, that was a huge impact to me. And it's like you'd never know. You hear a story like that. And I remember seeing my brother waving me down, and he's been gone 12 years now. I used to not be able to tell this story. I used to tell it a lot to people that, I just knew. And anyway, so it means a lot. And those promptings are important. And I know Cody wrote a book called Promptings. That's the name of it, right, Jordan?
That's right. It's Promptings, yeah. And it's on Amazon. And he just recently wrote a book called The Power of Human Connection as well, which is also on Amazon. Those are both great books. And I know that if anybody on the show is interested in the book, if you shoot a message over to Tammy or to Janine, we can get you a copy of it.
Yeah, because it's just,
I hope you don't mind.
So
I just volunteered you to. Volunteered you to get a copy of that book to anybody that's interested in it.
Good. Yeah. No, it's an amazing book, and I think so often people ignore those promptings, and it made a difference for me in my life that I'll never forget. We just don't know. But and I agree with you. Like right now, the time more than ever to be connected to people and do some things to cheer people up and encourage people.
Yeah, that story is unbelievable, Janine. And I definitely want to get that story to Cody so that he knows. It's important for him to know that. So I do want to share that we do have an event that is normally a live event that's happening on Saturday. It's called the Promptings Academy. And so if you're interested in learning more about that event, it's going to be online. It's normally an in-person event, but it's going to be online on Saturday. And it's going to be actually hosted by our founder, Cody Bateman, and there'll be a number of speakers. And it's going to be a really great event. If you really want to, learn how to attract more, it's a great way of really expanding your relationship sphere and building relationships beyond, your current situation. It's a phenomenal event, so I'd highly recommend it. And do you mind if I share a quick story? Do we have time for a quick story?
Yeah. Peter, do we need to take a break? Where are we at with the commercial?
Let's do this. We'll do the commercial break, and then we'll hear that story because I want everybody to be able to listen in. For those people listening in, you're listening to Jordan Adler, and then we had Tammy Starring just a little bit earlier, and then we have Janine Avila. My name is Peter Mingils. We're going to take a little commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized websites, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we are back. Peter Mingils here with Janine Avila. For those people, if they say, geez, I know somebody that really needs to hear those stories, if you go back to buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine, you'll be able to see this as one of the last radio shows that we've done. So you'll be able to forward that over to somebody that you know needs to hear that important message. So, Janine, back to you.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear Jordan's story. So let's hear it, Jordan.
All right, sounds great. So, most people that are in business, they've got a certain idea about the way to get more business, to market their business. And what we do is something that's it's almost like opposite. It requires just a few minutes a day, and it's 10 times more effective. And I'm just going to share a story that demonstrates that. A number of years ago, there was a guy that was talking negatively about me on the internet. And there was a strategy that some people still use, but it's not as prevalent as it was back then. And it was a strategy to find people that get lots of clicks on their name and then talk negatively about them. And what it would do is it would drive traffic to their website. I wasn't happy about it. He didn't know me and I didn't know him, and he really didn't have anything bad to say about me. He was pretty general, like, I don't know who this guy Jordan Adler is, but if I were you, I'd stay far away from him. And I wasn't real happy about that. And I went to an attorney and I said, what can I do to get this taken off the internet? And he said, well, we'll put together a letter. It'll cost $250. We'll certify it and send it to him, threatening him and telling him to take it down. And he'll take it down. And I wanted to think about it. It's not my style. And so I was going to San Diego to do an event with Cody, our founder, and his friend Dave. And I told them the story about this guy named Jason Isaacson, that was writing negative stuff about me, and how, I had been advised to do a letter. And Dave says to me, Jordan, you're with Send Out Cards. Why don't you just jump on the computer, find a nice card, click the button, put a Starbucks card in there, say something, compliment him in some way, and hit the send button and send him a card. So that night I went back to my hotel room, and I went, true story, I go to my computer and I find a card. It's a thank you card. And it says on the front of the card, the road to success is paved in coffee. And I wrote a note to Jason telling him I wasn't happy about what he put on the internet, but I understand what he's doing, and I think he's a smart businessman, but I'm not happy about it. And I said, let's have coffee sometime and kick some business ideas around. And I sent him the card. Well, about a week later, I go on his website, and he had removed the negative review. And what he did was he took a picture of the Starbucks card and the card that I'd sent him, and he put a post up there saying, Jordan Adler is the smartest, most brilliant businessman I've ever met. And he put that on his website. Well, it doesn't end there, because about 6 months later, I told the story in front of about 500 people in Dallas, Texas. There was a guy in the crowd named Otto Borish, and Otto was a chef on the Food Network, and he went out in the hallway over lunchtime, and he tracked down Jason's name and phone number on the internet, and he called Jason, and he said, you know that guy Jordan Adler with Send Out Cards? And Jason said, yeah, I wrote about him on my website. And, Otto says, yeah, well, do you know what he does? And Jason says, no. He said, can I tell you? And so Otto tells Jason about our business, and Jason gets excited about it and decides to join us. So Jason joins my organization, and he ends up becoming, over a 3-year period, the top recruiter in our company, and drove literally tens of thousands of customers into our organization. I could have sent him a letter from an attorney that would have cost me $250, and it probably would have gone even more south. But I sent him a thank you card and a Starbucks card, and as a result of that cost me less than $10. And the result of that was he drove tens of thousands of customers into my organization. And to this day, literally 10 years later, I'm still receiving a residual check as a result of that. So it gives you the difference between marketing and appreciation. Most people spend money on marketing today, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, but they're spending thousands of dollars a month in some cases on marketing. And we have something that somebody can do for a few minutes a day that completely transform that and shift and get results that are 10 times better for about 1/100th the cost.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense if you think about people want to feel appreciated and noticed and like they matter. And right now at this time, I get on Facebook and I see all these people feeling so discouraged and so negative, and there's a lot of fear because a lot of people, how many millions of people have applied for unemployment, and people have lost their jobs. And my whole thing when Peter and I started this show was helping people be safe with a financial wall of security around them. So with your home-based business, your residual, your side hustle, whatever it is that you do in your spare time, and we've been encouraging people to set up a little corner of your house, get an office, and, don't watch TV and the news, and just set something up. So if something happens, you have a fallback. And what I love about the Send Out Cards is not only is it attached to a business opportunity and residual income, it's a heartfelt business where I don't care what you're doing, whether you're a real estate agent, a caterer, you have a network marketing, direct sales, you have a radio show, you're a contractor, you're an IT guy, and you're working from home, you can appreciate your client base, and you get the edge. You give yourself the edge because you really reach out to people, and you just be creative about it, and you set yourself apart. It's not just a text and a form letter and an email and all of these things, and you get to tap into that God-given creativity that we all have, and you can reach out to people and you can really make a difference. And this is just a great way to do it. So I'm all for it, and I'm just so thrilled to have you guys on the show tonight. And I don't know if Tammy or Jordan, if you have anything more you want to share, you have time to do that.
I really just want to thank you, Janine, for having us on the show, and helping us spread that word. But go ahead, Tammy, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say thank you, but then I also wanted to talk about Jordan. He also has a couple of books. He has one called Beach Money. Is that correct, Jordan? And what's the other one? Right. More Beach Money?
Better Than Beach Money.
Better Than Beach Money.
It's really all about what Janine's been talking about tonight. It's like, really taking control of your life, having a side gig, doing something that you can do from home without human contact, something that will really make a difference for people and create a residual income. It's a generic book, so it really is for anybody that is really right now, anybody that's concerned about, what their future looks like, whether they're going to have a job or whether their business is going to be there. Something you can do from home to create a bridge.
Yep. And that's really important, and it kind of fills the gap between helping people, caring them. I actually spent some time today, and I've been concerned about my grandkids, because the kids are, it's one thing. Look at how we feel. We're like, what the heck is going on? This is like, none of us really know. And my adult children have been like, Mom, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know everything's going to be all right. I believe that. But in the meantime, but the children and the kids are like, what's going on? They're home. A lot of their parents are like overwhelmed because the kids are homeschooling. The bandwidth is like in high demand and all of this. So I found cute pictures of my grandkids. And so I was actually doing this afternoon. I had kind of a stressful day, to be honest with you. And I wanted to give myself a fun break and do something for the heart that mattered. So I got in there and I found some cute pictures of my grandkids, and I was making them some custom cards. And I know they've never seen anything like that before. So I'm excited. Jordan spent a little time showing me how to do it, and I appreciated it because I needed that, because I would have probably not got around to it. And I found some really fun cards and just put my crazy sense of humor into it, and I just can't wait to send them out. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something that I need to do to help encourage my family, because I feel strongly about that. And so I'm just thrilled about the opportunity to be able to just do something good for people, and to be working with a company with Cody Bateman, who's been doing good things for a lot of years. And I know that. So I was really pleased and proud to be able to promote this and have it on the show tonight. Peter, do you have any input or comments or anything you want to say?
I do, because I want to just kind of underline the story that Jordan had said in reference to even the name of our radio show. So there's three types of people and three types of behavior. There's people that maintain, there's people that build, and there's people that destroy. And the building part is what Jordan had done. It was a nice act. It was building a relationship, building something with that gentleman. And that gentleman actually went out there and built a business. And what Tammy has done, she sent out 200 cards so far. She's building a business. So it's like, if you just think about it, it's kind of like one card at a time, one brick on a wall. You're building your fortune. So there was no surprise. If some people come back and they say, why did you call it Building Fortunes Radio? Is because that's what we do every day. And I can't think of a better example than with Send Out Cards of doing something to build your business every day in the right direction. So it's just amazing what can happen. And instead of the destroyer, which is usually the attorney's part, sending the letter that makes people mad, or the maintainer, which might be to do nothing at all and hopefully goes away, Jordan chose the builder route. And that builder route really did pay off. And I'll just leave one more thing. I have found that whatever maker you believe in has a tendency of rewarding those types of behavior out of proportion to what it is that you did. So it was a $10 card, but it was rewarded out of proportion. So there's no scientific evidence. I can't tell you that there's been a case study based on that, but I'll share with you my life's mission has always been those types of building activities although seemingly relatively insignificant to all the ways that Jordan might have spent $10, because it was done in a builder fashion, really makes a very big difference. And you could do it every day, accelerated with send out cards and what you're working on right now. So I just wanted to kind of tie in that the philosophy of building Fortunes Radio is right there. It's something that we title, but it's also something we live. And I just wanted to underline Jordan's example, because sometimes you need to hear it a couple of different ways to say, now I got it. Now I can see how send out cards could be the vehicle where I can build my fortune. So Janine, back to you.
Well, and it's so true, because we never know. And it's like when Tammy reached out to me, I knew that she really, because she often did, she had no agenda. And when I told her, I said, oh, enroll me in that. I want to sign up. And she said, that's not why I called you. And I said, I know that. That's what makes it even better. And it was a prompting that Tammy, she said, I've had you on my mind. And I had been thinking about send out cards, and Tammy didn't know that. So that's just one of those stories that you can't explain. That's the way things are supposed to be. And then here we are. I was looking for a way to encourage people and to do that from home. And I don't know why it takes me so long sometimes when I want to go to the store and I want to buy cards and I can't put a stamp on it, and I can't seem to get myself to take it to the post office because I'm too busy. And when I see how I could sit at my computer, especially now at a time like this, and connect people together and do fun things, it's very rewarding emotionally, and things that are good for your heart and the soul. But then they can also be financially rewarding, and you have a way to show people a way that they can supplement their income and not have to be in fear. So I just want to tell everybody, there is, if you go to my website, JanineAvila.com, if you go to the left-hand corner, there's a little section called Building Fortunes Radio, and you can always click to listen if you don't know the number to call into, but all the shows are podcasts. We started over a year ago talking to people about really how to get set up from home so that you could love your home business and have a pleasing, fun, and profitable home business, and pay attention to your family and make it work. And I've had some great guests on where we've talked about IT and how to do your LinkedIn. And I've been blessed with some amazing people in my life, and they've been guests on the show. And I've got a newsletter called Home Base. And so I give a lot of tips and fun and humor and ideas about how you can really be successful working from home, whatever it is you do. You just go to my website and click on the contact page, and you'll see a sign up for the newsletter. And I never, ever would sell my mailing list. I have a lot of respect for those things. But you can hear a podcast of this show, so you can share it with other people. And if you want to find out more about send out cards, I guess, Jordan, I'll go to you to talk about how they can do that.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing I would do is, do they have a way that they can communicate directly with you, Janine?
Yeah, I have a URL. It's it's send out cards /Janine Hart. It would be sendoutcards.com /Janine Hart. Sendoutcards.com /Janine Hart. And if you shoot a message over to Janine, we can get you information about the event this weekend. It's an online event. It's not a sales pitch. It's a 100% personal development seminar, but it teaches the principles that we've talked about here today. And it's a phenomenal seminar. It goes from 9 to 4 on this Saturday. Oh, great. I'm going to attend that myself. But yeah, and you can go to my website. There's an info button. You can reach me at JanineAvila.com. You can go to Building Fortunes Radio /Janine. And I also have a 24/7 message line, because sometimes people just want to call. And that number is 831-621-0995. 831-621-0995. And it rings here in my office. And when we're not here, it goes to a voicemail, and it's on 24/7. So you can always call and ask for information or help or any kind of encouragement you want, and we're here. So, Peter, I'm so thrilled that you allowed us to go a little bit over time with our guests. I was so excited about this show all day. And I just know it's going to do a lot of good in the world, and that makes me really happy. So thank you.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here. You heard from Jordan Adler, Tammy Starring. Tammy, great job on your first radio show. And we have Janine Avila.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure we send everybody links. Thanks for being here.
You.
Good luck with your business. Yeah, and thanks for helping a whole bunch of people, especially in these times where that connection can really make a big difference. You have no clue how many people whose lives you'll really brighten when they get that personalized card in the mail. And for many of them, it's going to come at exactly the right time when they need it just the most. So thanks for everything that you do and everything you'll do in the future. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Bye.
Yeah, welcome.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.